just want to talk about, I'm kind of rambling a bit. How long is this going to go on? All right, longer than I thought. Okay. Yeah, so I want to just think, I think something, for me, I think something big is coming soon. Pretty big change. I think it'll be, and I can't say what it is because I don't know. My own thinking is, it could be like a natural disaster, like a comet or something that hits, or something like that, or some natural disaster, some big natural disaster, and then that triggers, wars, famine, and these kind of things. So that's what I think is coming, and I think that stuff is coming quite soon. I can't say when. I don't know, obviously, but I just have a feeling that it's coming soon, and I think that we generally are oblivious to it. So, and I understand a lot of people why that is the case. They're just, they don't want to wake up because it's hard. It's hard to face these things emotionally. It's very difficult to face these things, and it's especially at the beginning, you can get quite depressed and quite angry. But you have to go through that. I think it's just part of the process. You don't have to go through it. I'm sure some people wake up and it's grand for them. But I think for many people, initially there's some depression and some anger and negative emotion, which is what we're always trying to run away from. I find negative emotion. So I think that's coming, and I think it could be even like as soon as this year or next year, certainly. But I that's my sense, And so when that comes, I don't know how it's going to go. We still have the the fallout from the the lockdowns and the pharmakeia and all that stuff. Like that's still, I think that I don't think that's over. I think that could be coming again, another round of that stuff, possibly. So only I think that when it comes the next time, it won't be so friendly. It'll be it won't be. It'll be, when you're enforcing it this time, it'll be a lot more. There'll be more intimidating, more violence, more threats. The last time it was kind of, it was kind of like shaming people and kind of berating people for doing it, but very few people were actually prosecuted. Very few. Some people were, but the next time it comes, it'll be vicious, I think. Yeah. So and then we have and all we're just living in insane land at the moment. I'm just looking at Simon Harris on the talking about recognizing the state of Palestine, and I have no issue with that myself. Like I don't mind if the Irish government wants to recognize the state of Palestine. That's fine. I don't care. It's not a bad thing that they're doing it at all. But I don't think that they're doing it for the right reasons. I think they're doing it just for showboating, for virtue signaling, to show, like, look at me, I'm a good person. Because we have housing crisis, we have a homelessness crisis, we have a health system crisis, we have inflation, we have immigration crisis, we have young people are, we have cancers are going through the roof, heart disease, suicides, hopelessness in general among Irish people, young Irish people. No future for them, and they can't address those problems. And it's very easy to just point to a place, far away, and say, tell them what they should be doing, and so it's virtue signaling. Although I have no issue with the act, I just think that the intentions are not pure. They're just for political kind of political grandstanding. That's what it's about, And but the only thing about it is there will be consequences to this for Ireland, because the Israelis are, they're not playing. You can see that what they're doing to the Palestinians. It's no joke. They're serious. They're intending to move those guys out of there, I'd say. So Ireland, so we the Irish people will suffer because our leaders are sticking their nose into a conflict thousands of miles away, that has nothing to do with us, and we have no skin in the game, just so that they can appear to be doing, to appear to be good people, but we're going to suffer for that. I don't know how, and it won't be on the news, but there will be a retaliation, a major one. You can be sure about that. That's just the Israeli government's, that's just how they operate. They're not going to let that lie. They'll remember that, and they'll do us damage when we'll suffer. Ordinary Irish people will suffer for it. So that's kind of, we have foolish people as our leaders, unfortunately. And I don't think they're bad people. They're just extremely foolish. And, they're doing more harm than good. And I think that if they keep going the way they're going to bring this country to ruin, And I think the only way to turn it around, you can't do it politically because the roots of the problem are deeper than that. It's a spiritual problem. It's like Alexander Solzhenitsyn said in the USSR, that, communist Russia, that all the problems there, I'm just paraphrasing it, but all the problems there were caused by because man had forgotten about God. And that's the same in the Old Testament. That's the theme running right through it. People turn away from God, and then calamity and ruin comes on the society. And that's what's happening to us. It's a spiritual problem, and the only way to solve it is to turn back to Christ. And then things will, from that spiritual perspective, things will start to order themselves in the material world correctly, because we've ordered ourselves in the spiritual world correctly. And I think the material world, the physical world, is like a shadow of the spiritual world. The supernatural world is a real reality, and this is like the the emanation of it, or something, or creation of it. But the spiritual world is a reality. So if we get the spiritual stuff right, everything else will flow and follow from that. And the spiritual stuff, really, for us, it's, God made it simple. Just have a relationship with Jesus, and then that's it. That's it. Just try that. And it's not easy, because relationships aren't easy. So it's not necessarily going to be easy. Some people it will be. Fair play to them. That's great. But for a lot of people, it's not. You have to work at it, like you do with every relationship. You have to work at, try and give your best and stuff. So that's it. I think we're at the end of an old world. This is it. There's a big change coming, and it's going to be, depending on our own spiritual condition, the change can be a beautiful change into a new world that's good. And that where we have technologies that work for us, that help us, or it could be a world where we lose our Christian roots, and we end up getting taken over by Islam, and then we end up getting taken over, kind of into an international kind of communist state, or not state, kind of an international communist takeover, and a small country like Ireland basically has no say in its own direction. It's all being dictated from higher ups, who are influenced disproportionately by corporate interests and banking interests, etc., etc., etc. So that's I think if we turn back to Christ, we'll be all right, and if we don't, we'll be destroyed. That's basically where we're headed. So we still have a choice, I think, at this stage. So, and that's it. I'm going to leave it there. That went on a lot longer than I thought, so I'll leave it there. Thank you. God bless. Take care.